Hey, y'all, welcome back to another episode, another video. I have another question that was sent to me to answer, or maybe more so of a scenario, and I will give my opinion on it, my perspective on it. So let me read it, and then we will jump right into it. Y'all let me know what you think about whatever we talk about. But this is a really good one. I did pre-read it. So it's a little bit long, but I'll read it as fast as I can. So here we go. The question is, did I do something wrong? So ultimately, that is the question. So earlier this week, I matched with a woman on a dating app. We messaged each other back and forth all day, and she was so interested in me that she actually asked me for my number by the end of the day. I gave her my number. Then the next day, we were texting a good bit back and forth. That night, she wanted to talk to me on the phone, so we had a great 40-minute conversation. I asked her when she would be available to meet, and she said this weekend. The next day, I asked her what kind of food she likes, then made reservations to one of her favorite restaurants. After I got off work, she said we needed to FaceTime. I was pretty tired from working all day, so I was not as engaging as I could have been, but still, the FaceTime lasted for roughly 20 minutes and she seemed optimistic for our dinner date the following night. So last night was supposed to be our dinner date, but she canceled literally 30 minutes before the reservation time. She said she had gotten too tipsy and didn't want to go. Completely understandable. I want her to be comfortable and coherent when we are meeting for the first time. I then suggested we could FaceTime again instead. That way, we still get interaction. I didn't get a reply. This morning, I sent her a text asking if she was all right after last night. Still no response. I waited a few hours, then asked her what time she got off work today. Still no response. I'm unsure what to do now because her interest seems to have dropped to zero for no clear reason. I feel like we're too involved at this point just for her to ghost me. Like at least a, hey, I don't think we're going to work would give me a clear answer. Thoughts? Okay, so the question, let me start there and then I'll kind of work backwards. So the question of, did I do something wrong? No, in my opinion, I wouldn't say that you did anything wrong to warrant her um, not responding to you anymore. And of course, I'm just going off of the information that you presented here. I don't know what the conversation was like when you all were on the FaceTime phone call. You didn't put anything in here as far as like any information that you all talked about, or was there any sort of like sticky topics or subjects that, may have come up? So, and I'm bringing up that FaceTime call because it did mention, or you did mention where you said, she wanted to FaceTime or said that she needed to FaceTime and you were pretty tired from working all day, so you weren't as engaging as you could have been. And so I'm gonna speak to that particular piece. It is very possible that maybe during that FaceTime she picked up on the fact that you weren't as engaging. Maybe your energy level was low and maybe you weren't as communicative, just kind of describing things that could happen when a person is tired, but yet they're still, wanting to keep that interaction going. And maybe that's what she picked up on. Of course, I'm not creating any sort of excuses, but what I'm trying to do is just help you gain some sort of clarity or just some sort of level of understanding. So, therefore, the fact that she has not responded is not taken personally anymore. And I say anymore because um, it a specific sentence that you said, it says, I feel like we're too involved at this point for her to just ghost me. So that's why I'm responding the way that I am and giving my points the way that I'm doing, is because I don't want that feeling for you anymore. So again, it could have been something in the FaceTime call, whether it had been something that was said, or maybe that was just her way, which a lot of people do. A lot of people do some sort of a phone call or a FaceTime call before actually meeting in person for the first time, just to get like a what it's called like a vibe check. I'm saying it that way because I'm not a dating coach. I'm a relationship coach. So I'm not giving dating advice, but I am giving relationship advice. big difference. So I stay in my lane. But a lot of people do like to have a phone call, an initial phone call or a FaceTime call and do like a vibe check. And also, a lot of people just want to make sure that they're not being catfished whenever, before they meet someone in person. So, whatever the reasons were, again, it could be something that something that was said during the FaceTime call, or maybe the energy or lack thereof during the call. Maybe she just didn't see where the connection was there from her side. Maybe she just didn't see where there was attraction or compatibility from her side. She didn't, maybe that could have been what it was, and that may have caused her to not only just cancel because sure, okay, let's say she was tipsy and didn't want to go, but then the follow-up attempts of you reaching out to her were there was no response from her side. So that's the part I'm like, she definitely could have done better. Let me actually say that too. Her lack of response to you checking in or checking up and, just saying, hey, are you okay? Or, um, let's see, what did you say? You waited a few hours to see and then asked her what time did she get off work today. But the fact that the main one where you said this morning, I sent her a text asking if she was all right after last night, just out of, for me, because I'm all about courtesy and kindness. So from that, the fact that you at least reached out to ask, hey, are you okay? I'm just checking in on you from last night. There could have been it could have been polite for her to give a response there saying, something. Even if in that conversation she could have said, yeah, I'm good. Thanks for checking in on me. And just so I don't know, I apologize or I'm sorry for canceling on you, but also at the same time, I'm not interested. If that's her reason, if she's not interested, which, based off of her lack of response and her lack of follow through, it's pretty safe to say that that is the reason. And it's her choice also. She, of course, has the right to not be interested. She has the right to not respond. She has the right to not follow up. That's just the name of the game when out here dating and meeting people. Um, she does have that right to just say, you know what, I'm not interested. I'm done. I'm moving on. Does she have a reason? I don't know. I don't know if there was something on her end that was like maybe she was uncomfortable with responding or saying something to kind of like end it. And I don't know if she picked up on something, some sort of vibe, something in the conversation or anything like that, that didn't make her feel comfortable with ending it directly. But because we don't have any of those specifics, at least based off of what you wrote, and because people have the choice to decide how they want to either move forward or not move forward whenever meeting someone and or deciding to go out on a date or date someone, then what we're given is just what we have to accept. And at that point, it's up to us to say, okay, the lack of response, I got it, note taken, I'll move on. That would be my suggestion for you. So therefore, you're not still holding on to the part where you said that you feel like you're too involved at this point for her to just ghost you. It's only been a week. That's the other thing that I do want to say. I want you to have a realistic set of expectations, or I want you to look at this realistically. Like it's literally been within the week. Because at the very beginning, you said earlier this week you matched with this woman. You all were messaging back and forth. And then at some point, you all decided to connect and um, meet up. And then that's when you were making reservations. And so it all happened within a week. So to say that you feel like you're too involved for her to just ghost you, that is where I will also say maybe there's just a little bit of pause or hesitation because to me, reading it, it's like, wow, are you moving fast? Are you coming off too strong? Are you wanting to do things too quickly? Are you coming off very strong, very heavy? And who knows, maybe that's what she picked up on when you all were FaceTiming or during your conversation, or just maybe after a couple of days of the back and forth messaging that you were initially doing, maybe, she just said, okay, maybe this is just too much. You're coming, he's coming off too strong or he's moving too fast or whatever. Just kind of, again, throwing out there a few different things that could be possible based off of the information that I have here. But yeah, for it to only be a week and for the wording that you use of saying we're too involved at this point, but how? How are you too involved when it's only been within a week for her to ghost you? This person is still a complete stranger. This person is still someone that you are getting to know, and there are no obligations at this point, at this stage. But I agree, yes, it would have been nice. It would have been kind and considerate of her to, using your wording, hey, I don't think we're going to work. That would have been nice for her to do. Absolutely. I'm not a fan of, the whole ghosting thing, but I do get it in some cases where some people are just not comfortable with doing it because of them being afraid of the other person, the recipient's response or reaction to that. So I would just say, let it go. It may be easier said than done, but really just think about the fact that it's only been a week, and think about, like, okay, are you where how strong are your feelings are how strong did you allow your feelings to get for a person that you've only met within a week? And if it got you to a point to where, you're able to say, I feel like we're too involved at this point. No, not really. Um, it hasn't been long enough, actually. And so a week, this first week, even the first few weeks for a lot of people who are getting to know someone, meeting and matching with people on dating apps and things like that, it's really those first few weeks where it's literally going to be, I'm going to keep hearing from them or I'm not. At any point within the first few weeks, things could just truly fall off, and it should be okay if a person doesn't communicate that to you. It sucks. I'm big on communication. I'm big on letting a person know, like, hey, just so as long as they are open to receiving it, and they're not going to come off as like aggressive or, coming off as wanting to just kind of be mean in return. But other than that, I am huge on communication and at least letting a person know the why. This is not going to happen, or why I'm no longer interested or whatever. But yeah, I I just hope that you're not taking it too personal or too personally, and just really want you to just think about, okay, what makes me feel like we're too involved at this point when this point is still just within week number one. So that is my response to this question, this scenario, this situation. What are your thoughts? Have you been in this situation before? Have you ever been ghosted? Have you ghosted someone? Let's put that in the comments section to possibly help this person understand. If you yourself have ghosted someone, again, guy or girl, doesn't matter. If you were the person who just left without any sort of communication, put that in the comments below so people can understand the why behind it. Because at the end of the day, my channel is here to help people learn what learn the things that they may do or things that they may not do that can affect another person's reactions or responses or way of doing things. Like, this channel is all about teaching and learning, and so I want you all to put your reasons for ghosting in the comments section to possibly help this person understand that, hey, it happens, and don't take it personal, especially when you're first getting to know someone. and maybe just learn from it. Do a little self-reflection, kind of go back through the days of communicating with this person, especially whatever that FaceTime phone call was, whatever was talked about during that call. And I completely understand when you said that you were tired, so you may not have come off as engaging as you could have. So maybe reflect on that. It could have been that. It could have been the fact that she picked up on that energy and it just didn't come off across to her, maybe in a way that she was receptive and understanding. So, a lesson in that could be moving forward. Hey, maybe maybe moving forward, you would know not to call, speak, FaceTime with someone after a long day of work, if you know that it may turn a person off or whatever. Just thinking about other ways to ultimately help you get into a peaceful posture, a peaceful situation of acceptance and being able to move on, of acceptance and understanding, or yeah, acceptance and or understanding. So that's it. Let me stop before this video gets too long. But yes, if you have a question or a scenario that you would like for me to give my perspective on and or to just give an answer to, submit it by clicking the link in the description where it says Ask Coach Energy, and I will record a video and put it up on the channel, and you'll be able to see and hear what my response is. If this video could be helpful to someone that that's currently in this situation or may have been in this situation, and you see that this video could be beneficial to them, please share this to that person. But otherwise, until the next time, I will talk to y'all soon. Goodbye.